All right. Good evening, everybody. So as you will see in an email that there is a change and this video is now on YouTube. So I hope it works. And then please feel free to share it with others if they use the version 11 or probably version 11 Anki deck and the Blue Link Michigan Anatomy deck. Changed my picture again. So this is a picture of myself, my fiance Melanie, my father, and my stepmother floating the kitchen sink rapids on the upper Madison River in Montana. So something I did fun with my family. But we'll get right into it. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I just want to show you one quick thing. So I'm going to post this on the YouTube video, Mr. P's Guide. If you want to curious about the background of the name, you can ask Anthony Liu, if I said his name right, Anthony. He can tell you the meaning behind the name. And then if anyone has a good ideas for a picture, I'm still looking for a good picture, so please let me know. But I got some helpful feedback, so hopefully this video goes a little quicker, and feel free to pause it throughout. But I took good notes of cards I activated. And for this video, I'm going to be reviewing the orthopedic lectures. So that's the intro to ortho, the upper extremity, lower extremity, as well as the pediatrics introduction. And I'm just going to put a disclaimer now. I couldn't find any pediatric information in this. So if you want flashcards for pediatrics, I suggest making your own. I haven't made any because it's 10 o'clock at night and I am pretty done. So if any of you make cards, I might be interested in using those for pediatrics just to help me study, if you wouldn't mind sharing those. And then I could also post them to, you could post them in Discord, or I could post them on the YouTube channel as well. But we'll get right into it. So for the first bit, you're going to go to first aid, down to musculoskeletal skin connective tissue. And then we'll go into pathology. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch. But we're just going to start at the top. I'm going to go through section by section. So cubital tunnel syndrome is going to be all, and humerus fracture, none. I mean, this is helpful information. We just didn't review it. And overuse injuries, you were just going to go over, I should say, lateral epicondylitis and medial epicondylitis. That is it. Neither of these ones. Yeah, just these two. And then you are going to go down to radial. None in that one, and none in tendons. So that is it for elbow. Wrist and hand injuries, none boxer fracture, carpal tunnel syndrome, these respective cards. And so depending on how your cards are ordered, click the sort field button here. So as you can see, this changes. So wherever this little arrow is at, so I sort field here. So activate all these cards. These follow the learning objectives, not only for the orthopedic lectures we have, but as well as CMNR. So I found cards for the ortho lectures tonight, as well as CMNR. So like your Phelan's test, your Finkelstein's test, all the different tests we have to know for CMNR, I have found most of them as cards, which, knock out two birds with one stone, get some didactic as well as CMNR testing. And I also found some other anatomy stuff that I thought was super cool, which I will show you, but I'm not going to activate it just because I kind of have it in memory now. But if it's something you're interested in, I'm going to show you where it's at. And then de Quervain tenosynovitis, all of it. None of this one. For ganglion cysts, just these four, none and none. Clavicle fractures, just not the first two, just because they didn't really say what the most common is, being the third section, and then we didn't go over newborn trauma birth. So that is it for wrist and hand injuries and then clavicle. For hip, I just have 4, 1, 2, or 5, 3, 4, 5. That was it. Everything else is really, yeah. It's not so much fracture orthopedic related like we learned. It's it's orthopedic, but it's like bursitis. It's not like fractures. And then for knees, just these ones right here. And don't worry, we'll get to more knee stuff. There's some more. And then in common MSK conditions, I did de Quervain's tenosynovitis Tenosynovitis again. I don't know if it carries over from up here. Yeah, it looks like it does. So you should already have this all activated. Ganglion cyst again. I think we did that already. I don't know. It's getting late. Limb compartment syndrome. This was a major one that the orthopedic surgeon wanted us to know. So all of them except for these three, just because these three aren't as necessary, I feel. This one is so these three are all the same card. I didn't really care to learn the venoms piece, but me the reperfusion or the long bone fracture I did. None of those. Plantar fasciitis, all of them except the first one, because I just don't really care about tarsal tunnel syndrome at the moment, at least. And then in TMJ. Childhood MSK conditions. I don't think I did any of these. No, none of those. And then we went into common pediatric fractures. All of these, those were discussed. Chondroplasia, this is kind of going back to something else. I think I had these activated already, but in case you don't, so the first one, these ones, and then all of these down through. And then osteoporosis. So this card here, talking about compression fractures. That's just not so much, I didn't do this so much just for the vertebral, but that osteoporosis weakens the bones to increases risk of fractures. So some other cards that lead to osteoporosis, and like this one, surgical neck of the femur is often fractured with a fall. And then in case, and you don't know, the DEXA scan he was referring to for evaluating osteoporosis and muscle strength, it's called a DEXA scan. So here's that card if you'd like to know it. And then I think this card was already activated because of somewhere else. So that is it for the first aid. Like I said, I'm trying to go fast, keep it short for you guys. And that way you can just pause it, activate the cards, and get on with it. Enjoy studying, or yeah, study, whether it's enjoyable for you or not. All right, and then we're gonna go up to B&B, and I found so many cards here. I wish I would have found earlier. Before we dive into what we need to know, I just want you to show you one thing. So let me find it here, B&B MSK Anatomy and Pathology 21561. So this card, where'd it go? Hold on here. Do it this way. Is that helpful? Nope, that's not helpful. Hold on, this one. So I thought it was pretty funny. I have Debbie White here with DABID, the dorsal AB ducts, and the PAD, Palmer's AD duct. But if you look through here, all of these cards are referring to like the dorsal interosseous AB duct of fingers and the palmar interosseous AD duct of fingers. And like, oh my gosh, what is that? Like, and if you just click through here, you're finding that, oh, let me find a better one. Yeah, so muscles of the thenar eminence are innervated by the median nerve. This is kind of getting into the second and third order questions that can be on our anatomy practicals. There's a whole bunch of cards in here. And I had no idea. So yeah, like the ulnar nerve injury sensation is lost over parts of this area. So that's referring to like dermatomes. But yeah, like these regions I didn't know, and you know, they would have been helpful to know on the test because I know there was one question on the final over it. But some helpful cards here in case you want to activate them and go back and learn them. I don't have any of them activated, but that's where you can find them. But we'll get back into what we need to know. So there's no further breakdown in this region for the cards. So I'm just going to scroll through and, like I said, sort the field here and then match up the due number. So the number 20945 with the order to make sure you get all the cards right. So to start off, the first two, and then this one, these ones, those two, and then come down. I just scroll all the way down. And so then it's these two cards, 20940, 20941. You scroll up here to your valgus testing for MCL, and then your PCL cards, scroll up just a little bit. These ones, 20942, 20923, and then it's back up to the top. You didn't miss anything here. I just wanted to make one note here. Let me find the card. Here we go. So these two cards here, I changed some of the verbiage in the answer. You only have to do it on one card, but it's the to test for an ACL injury. It is the anterior drawer test that is correct, and the Lachman test. But because medicine is moving away from using doctors' names that developed the test, the orthopedic specialist today referred it to the pivot shift test, which is the same thing. They are just referring to it as pivot shift. So I typed in pivot shift here, but kept the Lachman because I don't know what to expect on boards. But that is it for this. So pause here, scroll all the way down, and then a little bit up. It's just grabbing the top of this area here, but that's it for that section. Shoulder and elbow. So top two, these four cards. And then again, some other, I thought, helpful cards here. I wish I had time to learn them all, but I don't. Scroll all the way down, and then these four cards here. That was it. Like I said, a lot of other helpful arms, like the deltoid abducts the arm from 15 to 100 degrees and is innervated by the axillary nerve. Like shit, that would have been helpful at the last test. And then 3. Let's see here, yeah, brachial plexus. These 4 here. This is more referring to the Klumpke palsy and the Erb palsy diagnoses that were on the lecture slides. So kind of referring to the nerve roots that are compressed or obstructed that cause the symptoms. So those 4, scroll down until you get to 21469 through 22366. So these 4 you want to have activated, and then keep coming down, and you got these 4, these 5, and these 3. That is it for the brachial plexus. And then you're going to go to wrist. There's a fair amount in wrist here. So pause again, quite a few at the top, skip 2, and then the remaining ones. So you could skip down here, hit Control J, and then just suspend these 2 again. And then these 2 cards, 21242, 21243. Single card here for a green stick fracture. Single card here for the torus fracture. These might have already been activated from a previous deck below. I'm not entirely sure though. And then 4 here, scroll all the way down, and then you got your 4 and 3. And so that was the total number of cards that I found for the anatomy lectures today, with some added bonus to cover some C-minor topics. But no pediatrics. I didn't find any pediatrics in Anki. So like I said, if you make any, please let me know. And I'd be happy to incorporate them. And then, yeah, like I said, it'd be helpful to have those because I didn't make them, and I don't know if I will. But that is the video. So hopefully this is short, so you can review it all quicker. And that was just due to some helpful feedback I got to shorten up these videos for you all. So happy studying, and again, let me know if there are any more tips.